All right, folks, welcome back to another fantastic edition of Opali Presents Know Your Pros. And today's guest, we have Anthony Salas of Garage Door Mechanics. And Anthony's business is based out of Oxnard at Garage Door Repair Company. They service Ventura County, LA County. They head up into Santa Barbara County if needed. But Anthony is the owner and the guy you should know if you are a business owner or a homeowner who is looking for a repair of their garage door. Anthony, it's great to have you, man.
Morning, Henry. Thank you for having me.
Anthony, I'm stoked to have you, man. And this show is all about profiling guys like you, dudes who started their own businesses, took what they knew and applied it into some entrepreneurial venture that becomes a business like Garage Door Mechanics. And the folks who watch these videos like to understand like how you got there. Why was it that you decided, damn, I'm gonna go out, start my own thing, buy a couple of work trucks, get some branded shirts. Like, what started that?
Basically, really, it was just I had to make a jump into life and make reality happen. Never thought I'd be a business owner. I never thought of starting my own garage door company. Again, it takes place back to I got to go back to my trade as being younger. I did facility maintenance. I did property management maintenance, and what that entailed was I was a multi-trade contractor in the fields of electrical, plumbing, air conditioning. So I learned a lot of different trades out of high school, and I worked for two good companies where I had great mentors that taught me a lot of the different trades. Um, and garage doors, surprisingly, was never one of my uh, trades that I had learned from previous work experiences that I had.
Yeah.
Never worked on a garage door, never worked on a commercial door. I never even worked on my own garage door, my parents' garage door. The funny story of how I even fell into the industry was, if a lot of people recall, the '08 crash. It put a lot of contractors, a lot of businesses out. And unfortunately, the company I had worked for was a property management company. And they started losing businesses because they basically managed office suites. And little by little, as the economy crashed, a lot of these businesses started going under, and these empty suites were just becoming one after another. And as a maintenance guy, I mean, my job was to basically service these office suites, get them prepared for the next tenant. But if you don't got people filling in the suites, you don't got no income coming in. And
Right.
uh, shortly after, the business that I worked for had to make a decision, and they had to actually sell out and go under as well. And I ended up being out of a job. Um, and being out of a job, just was really never my uh, forte, as far as, like, I needed work, I needed money, I had bills, I had, things I had to pay. And thinking that me being experienced in different trades of the construction industry, I thought it'd be easy to lay a job. And unfortunately, it wasn't that way. It was really hard. um I couldn't find any work as an apprentice. I couldn't find any work in any of the trades I had experience in. And just surprisingly happening back then, everyone looked in the newspaper for work, if you
Right.
recall. Was it list? It was online. I actually was happened to be my parents had a newspaper. I was going in there, and there was a job for a garage door company looking for a service technician. And I'm like, I kind of thought to myself, could I work on garage doors? I mean, how hard could it honestly be? I'm pretty good at, fixing other stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could pick up a garage, pick up on how to work on a garage door. And again, since the jobs were so scarce, nobody was hiring, I figured I'd give it a shot. So I went in and I applied. The owner was a little skeptic because I didn't have any training, was really looking for someone with training to kind of just throw out in the field. But he really did like my background in the different trades of the construction industry. Um, So he told me to get back to me. Didn't hear from him for weeks. Kind of thought I didn't get the job, but eventually he called back and said interested. But he made it hard. He told me I had to be up for the challenge, as he was really looking for someone to pick up the industry and be able to be out in the field, quickly. So I said yes to it, got to training, and within a month I was out in the field, so doing service calls, working on garage doors, and I just kind of fell in love with the industry. I didn't think this was something that I would really like, because again, I didn't really have experience in it, but I really liked the difference between the two, between this and my previous work experience, because I liked being out in the field. I liked being able to travel. I like being in different cities. I like meeting different people. And I like that in garage doors, it's not really one specific thing that you're doing. Garage doors have different mechanical working parts, whether it's electronic, whether it's just, parts on the door. Every job was always different. So it wasn't like you're just kind of stuck doing the same thing.
Right.
So I really loved the industry. Worked for this company for many years until the owner decided to sell. And once that had happened, and a different company came in, um, and they just had different work ethics of what they expected me as a service guy. They didn't see me as a service person. They wanted to train me more as a salesman, and it was really different and hard for me to kind of adapt to, because again, from my previous work experience up to when I learned to do garage doors, it was really kind of more about customer service, providing that customer with the quality of your own work, giving them that trust that you're going to be able to repair and fix their garage door without having to come to their home and tell them it's going to basically cost them an arm and a leg to fix it.
Right.
um,
Yeah.
and with this company that had taken over, that was their work ethics. That's what they wanted me to do. So it was really hard for me to kind of transition. Wasn't happy. I really didn't transition to what they wanted. I stuck to my roots, kept on doing what I was doing, but always got backlash that, I was never going to be any better than what I was. They would belittle me. And it was hard to take that kind of, talk. And just talking to my wife, my parents, other colleagues, other contractors, and people just kind of really thought like, hey, why haven't you thought just starting your own company? You have the work experience. I mean, you know how to talk to customers, you know how to fix and do things. The best thing you could do is look into starting your own business. And it kind of like the light, the bulb kind of just turned on, and I'm like, wow, I never thought of that. But I could see myself, doing that. I could see myself running and operating, but I didn't know what running your own business and entailed. Um, so after talking to other business owners, I kind of got the concept of what I needed to start up. Um, and I eventually moved forward. And I got to tell you, it was the best thing I've ever done for my family, for myself. It's one of those things that you do it and you realize, like, man, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Like, why did I not think of this a long time ago? But I'm kind of glad that regardless in the time of my life when I started it, whether it was before or now, it was still a big jump in life. And I love being my own owner, because it just, you appreciate your work more. Um, you appreciate the things that you service, you install. Like when I do a new garage door, I tell myself I did this, and then I earned all the money from this job for myself, because I'm the owner. So it's just kind of like this, the appreciation of being your own business owner, just like, it's just a different perspective, for the work industry and for anyone that owns their own business. Like I feel they feel the same way. So when I started
Right.
the business, obviously I had to think of, what would be a good name to represent who I've been my whole life. And I've always known that I've been a very mechanically inclined contractor. So I'm just thinking like garage doors, what, it could have been garage door company, my name, but I feel like that still didn't represent, what garage door mechanics was. And I just thought of like, well, I'm a mechanic, no different than any car mechanic, and than any contractor that fixes, or a plumber. So I feel like I'm a mechanic. That's what I am. And so that's where I just dawned like, garage door mechanics. It's just tells a customer, when I come to your home, I'm going to be able to fix and repair what is needed without the upsell cost of what, you know, a contractor would do when he comes. Instead of someone just telling you, no, I can't fix it, I come and tell you, yes, I can fix it. And that's where garage door mechanics comes into play.
Right. And before we started shooting this, you talked about how we're kind of in a moment in time where the blue collar trades, and especially the businesses that exist within plumbing, HVAC, you name it, they're of the mindset where, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke, replace it with a new unit, right? But that's not the way that you operate here. If it is broke, fix it. Figure out a way where you can replace parts, save your customers some money, give them exactly what it is they need rather than upselling them. I mean, you talked about how you're not a salesman. You are a mechanic of garage doors. You are a tradesman by trade, right? And I think that's so valuable to when you call a contractor that's going to come out and do something specific that you need them for. People are worried, right? Like, hey, I'm going to get sold to, or hey, I'm maybe going to buy something that I don't want to buy, or it's like going and getting your oil changed. The cabin filter thing. It's like, okay, I
Right.
came in here for an oil change, and now I'm buying this, that, and the other thing. That's not your vibe. That's not what garage door mechanics is all about.
Absolutely not. When a customer calls, a lot of time, I feel like what also sets me aside is I always ask questions. I don't
Right.
just try to push on let me, let me get out there. It's kind of I want to know what's going on with the garage door, what is occurring. If they can explain to me the issues, then I can let them know, like, yeah, it sounds like it just needs service. I feel like sometimes it needs adjustment. There may be a part broken, and in the customer says, well, it's something you can fix. Well, from what it sounds like, yes, it definitely seems like something I could fix, but also I'm not there to visually see. So let's get you on the books. Let me get out there. Let's see what's going on. And let's hopefully that, and I always tell my customers, I always want to assure them, and let's hope that, yes, it is something that is repairable or maybe just an adjustment. And, we can get you fixed and get you going again. Customer was always happy to please. And just so you know, I do provide free estimates because a lot of times customers are like, well, what does it cost for you to come out? It's no cost for me to come out. There's no need for me to come out and tell you it's going to be a $65, $95, advance fee just for me to come out there, just to tell you, like, this is broken. And then on top of that, there's another fee. So I always tell my customers it's free for me to come out because I'd like to diagnose, see what the issue is. And then I could provide you with, an efficient cost of what's going to cost to fix your garage door. So a lot of customers like hearing that and always telling them that, it's free for me to come out. Let's diagnose it once I figure out what the problem is. And then always tell them. And it's up to you if you want to move forward. You may say, like, hey, I want a second opinion. You may say, like, hey, I don't have the money right now. And that's fine. You're not obligated to pay me anything when I come out to diagnose. I mean, 90% of the time, the customers, they listen, they understand, and I explain to them. And I feel like explanation to a customer, it's to them right there. That is the honesty that they want to see from a contractor, not to just come out and say it's going to cost you $500 and I'll get it fixed. A lot of customers, okay, well, what am I getting for $500? So if I come out there and I tell them, like, look, this is what's pinching, binding, and I'll bring the customer. I go, look, I can visually show you what's causing this to jump off track, or I can visually show you this part is cracked. It's about to split. That's why you're hearing that noise. And this is what we got to fix or repair. And I can show them, like, this is what's going on with the garage or what's causing the issues that you're having before we even get to a cost. And then once we show the customer, they now see. And then when they realize, like, it's only going to cost them like $125 to kind of get it adjusted, fixed, aligned, and going again, they're kind of like, what? I thought I was going to get a whole new door. And it's like, no, I wouldn't think that. I'm like, no, it's so you got to understand. That's what garage door mechanics is. It's just that's the honesty that they like to hear, the knowledge, the education they get when they call me when I come out. It's just kind of one of those things that just kind of like, the customer is like, okay, let's get it done. I want to get it fixed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I mean, like that's the impression I get from you each week, Anthony, when I hear you pitch your ask, or when I hear you talk about your client experiences. Like we said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is broke, let's not replace it. Let's take a look. Let's find out if it may need a replacement. But I know you
Right.
also, of course, do fresh installs as well. You do repairs. You're a full service crew out there, which is great. So Anthony, we are out of time, but I do want you to plug where folks can find you out there if they're looking to connect with Anthony Salas or Garage Door Mechanics. How can they get in touch with you, my man?
Well, I do have a website, www.garagedoormechanics.com. You could get more information on Garage Door Mechanics there. There's photos, which shows servicing, repairs, and installations. I can also be reached on social media. Instagram, it's Garage Door Mechanics. Facebook, as well as Garage Door Mechanics. You can find me on Yelp. I'm also on Nextdoor. I can be reached at 805-663-9993 for any service, repairs, or installations.
Beautiful. Anthony, everything that you just mentioned is going to be in the description of the video, as it always is. Folks, if you are looking for a fix on your garage, or whether a business owner or a homeowner, if you're looking for a new install, or somebody who is going to give it to you straight when it comes to something that you may not be comfortable with, if you want experience, if you want class, you're going to call Anthony Salas at Garage Door Mechanics, based here in Oxnard, California. Anthony, thank you, man, for being a guest here today.
Henry, thank you for having me.
Now you're